You're watching Fox 47 News at 10.
Former Detroit Police Chief James Craig has officially entered the 2022 governor's race, but his announcement didn't go quite as planned. Have a look. Craig was surrounded by protesters on Belle Isle, where he originally intended to announce his campaign. Detroit Will Breathe was the group behind this protest, and Chief Craig was forced to pivot, making his announcement brief and moving the rest of the event to another spot. Jim Kurtzner from our sister station has more on what happened.
This was not the kind of launch that James Craig wanted. I've been doing news in Michigan for 38 years, have never seen anything like this. This should not have come as a surprise to the campaign of James Craig. Detroit Will Breathe tweeted over the weekend they would be out here on Belle Isle. About 36 party crashers took control of the launch.
I got one thing to say. I'm running for governor.
James Craig was then escorted through the rowdy crowd to a waiting SUV. What was next? His political team was calling an audible.
Be a few minutes here.
He's coming back?
I can't answer at this moment for security reasons, but we're moving along with our day here.
They were able to get permission to use this 8th floor balcony for Craig to hold his event. He called the protesters sad and disappointing.
I know who they are. They know I know who they are. And they do not speak for most Detroiters.
Chief also says this may have been staged and paid for by his opposition.
I feel like they were paid. I feel like they were paid. I don't have any hard evidence, but I feel like they were paid.
On to the campaign. Craig is running as a Republican, says masks in schools and COVID vaccinations should be a matter of choice for parents and everyone.
What are we becoming? Making mandates? Making mandates to get vaccinated? Are we becoming socialists? Communists?
James Craig calls himself a political outsider, but likes his chances with all Michigan voters.
I will resonate with those folks up north or on the west because I'm authentic, I'm a leader, and I'm blue collar. I know what hard work looks like. Nobody's ever given me anything.
From here, the chief continued his launch with other stops throughout Michigan, presumably without the Detroit Will Breathe protesters.
Thank you, Jim. Michigan State Representative Jewel Jones made history when he was elected, becoming the youngest state rep in Michigan's history. He became a symbol of youth, ambition, and the future for the city of Inkster. Now, while he is being paid to represent that city as a state rep, he is not in Lansing tonight, but behind bars. Kim Russell from our sister station was in court when he learned his fate.
In court here in Livingston County today, prosecutors said that State Representative Jewel Jones, by violating bond for the third time, showed that even as a lawmaker, he didn't respect the law. It all started on April 6th in Fowlerville.
Tell Joe who you have handcuffed.
State Representative Jewel Jones argued with deputies after being arrested for drunk driving. He was released on bond. This is video of the 26-year-old Democrat from Inkster entering court for a motion hearing in Judge Michael Hattie's Livingston County courtroom today. At issue, prosecutors say he violated bond 3 times now. In June, he was accused of leaving military training without notifying the court. In July, he failed to pay a court invoice. Today, he pleaded guilty to drinking on September 3rd and tampering with his alcohol sensing tether on Labor Day.
Is that true?
Your Honor, if I may.
Yes, you take responsibility.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm responsible.
Attorneys then argued over whether his bond should be revoked. Prosecutors say he accidentally sent probation a picture of his sock under the tether.
He believes that as a person who writes our laws, that he is above our laws.
At the end of the day, Judge, he's still a state representative. He still has his job in the Michigan House.
I am going to revoke bond at this time.
Judge Hattie sent Jones to jail, but also rescheduled his pretrial conference from October 1st to this Friday, offering the potential he will be released then.
He is a wonderful young man. He has a heart of gold. I've seen him do so many things for so many underprivileged people.
This pastor who came to court to support Jones says he hopes this is an opportunity for a second chance. He says he has asked the representative if he's open to addiction treatment.
I have asked him, and now that this situation has occurred, I will ask him again.
State representatives tell me in recent days and weeks they've reached out to Representative Jones and told him if he needs help for addiction, they're there to help him get it. So far, he hasn't been ready to accept help. They're hoping the stay in jail changes that.
What a majority of Americans say would motivate them to pursue a healthier lifestyle. I'm David Asman with the Fox Business Network. More coming up.
Fox 47 wants to hear from you. Send us a news tip or connect with us on social. Welcome back. You're watching Fox 47 News at 10.
What would better motivate Americans to live a healthier life? Fox Business Network's David Asman is here to tell us in tonight's Fox Means Business report.
Shoppers continue to shell out more at the store. Consumer prices rising 5.3% in August from the same time a year ago, but there is a silver lining. The price growth from month to month is starting to slow down a bit. The inflation news not putting investors in a buying mood on Tuesday. The Dow, S&P 500, and NASDAQ all closed lower, mainly due to concerns about higher taxes and the possibility of the Federal Reserve tapering stimulus for the economy. And listen up if you're looking for a job. Amazon wants to hire another 125,000 workers and pay them an average rate of $18 an hour. These new positions are in addition to the 40,000 corporate and tech jobs the company said it was looking to fill a few weeks ago. And finally, it seems money can motivate people to be healthier. According to a new survey by Walgreens, 2/3 of Americans believe they'd be more motivated to pursue a healthy lifestyle if there were a material reward. A majority of these people say the biggest incentive would be discounts to their favorite stores. That's business. I'm David Asman.
Let's go to the forecast, everybody. Any showers and storms from earlier on this evening, those have pushed well off to the east, and we don't have much to expect into the overnight, perhaps a sprinkle underneath one of these clouds. Otherwise, it's just partly to mostly cloudy, and then we get into Wednesday with a fair amount of sunshine, a few passing clouds. Temperatures are going to be running into the mid-70s there for the middle day of our work week. We get into Thursday, and a little bit warmer, I think, for Thursday afternoon as we run the numbers into the lower 80s. So a warming trend does start to get going here, and you'll notice that on the board for Friday. Well, Saturday a little bit cooler, but Sunday rebounding, and then Monday and Tuesday could be mid to even upper 80s at times with a fair amount of sunshine over the next 7 days. Look at the overnight lows running pretty warm as well, generally in the 60s.
As COVID-19 continues wreaking havoc across the country, some new data shows African and Hispanic Americans are underrepresented in COVID testing and vaccines in dozens of states. Daryl Forgas gives us a breakdown of the numbers and what's being done about it.
The pandemic continues to take its toll nationwide, especially on people of color. New data compiled by Johns Hopkins University shows Black and Hispanic Americans are still missing out on testing and vaccination in many states.
We know that Blacks and Hispanics are almost 3 times more likely to be hospitalized than white Americans and are about 2 times more likely to die of COVID than white Americans.
The data also shows that Hispanic people and Black people, with exceptions in a few states, are more heavily represented among those who have been infected or died from COVID than those who have been vaccinated. One barrier to a better understanding of disparities in access to vaccines and testing for people of color is incomplete data reporting from states. But experts say the trends are clear. Black and Hispanic Americans have more limited access to resources.
There is a disconnect there that we're not addressing and that we need to fix.
Organizations like Latino Health Access in California are working to do just that.
In order to vaccinate folks that are in the hardest to reach populations, our model is that we go to where folks are. We don't wait for them to come to us.
With the help of community health workers, Latino Health Access goes door to door to the most impacted zip codes, making sure Latinos get vaccinated and educated on the vaccine.
If we go to where folks are at, we're gonna eliminate a ton of barriers that will make it easier for them to access the vaccine.
I'm Daryl Forgas reporting.
Louisiana is still picking up the pieces from Hurricane Ida, and now the area has to deal with Nicholas. We'll take a look at the heavy rains the storm has brought to Texas and what Louisiana can expect as it slowly moves inland.
Fox 47 News at 10 will be right back. Here's what's making headlines across the nation.
Tropical storm Nicholas brought its water fury to Texas today, making landfall as a Category 1 hurricane. The slow-moving storm has drenched the state and is now heading for Louisiana, parts of which are already been devastated by Hurricane Ida. Fox News correspondent Robert Sherman has the latest.
Torrential downpours from Storm Nicholas continue to batter parts of the Gulf region.
It is expected to stall over Louisiana, sort of dissipate, but I'm told by the National Weather Service that we can expect rain